Hi guys! It's me. I'm here at El Paso Airport and you'll see that today's video is on my whole trip. And when I arrive, well, you'll see. It was a fucking mess. Just like my life. Just kidding. Just kidding. But I'm fine. I'm back in El Paso. But I'll just say that it was a crazy experience. Okay, so stop with the suspense. Why did I go to New York in the first place? So basically, I got a job. But the craziest job you could ever imagine. I'm sure, like, not just a normal person does this just for fun. No, but me, yes.
So I was like, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be like walking and meeting people.
Whatever, so okay, I'll tell you what the job was. A door-to-door sales job. And I was selling pest control for 4 weeks. Guys, like, I got bit by a dog! Oh my god! Hey guys, I'm exaggerating a little bit. Just a little bit though, because it is kind of horrible. This job is probably one of the worst jobs in the world. But the really cool thing was that my team and the people that I was working with were amazing people. Really, like, energetic, fun to be around, just like really happy people. Because yes, in order to be in this job, you just have to be super positive, and that's why I thought I would be fine with it. I'm a positive person, but believe me, you have to be like the extra mile because you're constantly knocking on doors, constantly getting rejected by people, and then you're just tired of people's bullshit, like being so mean to you. Like,
Bro, like,
why do you have to be so mean to me? I'm doing my job, you know? But it's okay, like, it's whatever. I'm over it. I'm already gone. But the people that can manage to do this job, I respect them to like the fullest. Tiffany, she's my manager. If you're looking at this, girl,
like,
you kill it. You're the
baddest bitch out there.
So after 3 weeks of doing it and getting bit by a dog, like I mentioned, and I'll explain a little bit of how that happened. I was just tired. I was just
Like,
no.
like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm studying geology.
Maybe I should just go back and do what I'm supposed to do and
Like,
get involved with my career, you know? And money will come around later. And that's what I learned, that I need to focus in what I actually want and not making money.
Like,
money will come later if I work hard enough, you know? So pretty much,
yeah, like,
that was it. I went to New York. I knocked on doors. I sold services, which made me feel crazy happy.
like,
Believe me,
like,
selling a service when you're doing door to door really bumps up your self-confidence. And I think that's why the people that are there can pretty much do anything in the world, because it gives you this certain power, like inner power of knowing that you're doing this like the hardest job and you still manage to be successful, which is really cool. Like, if people from cHikillos are looking at this, guys, I really respect you for what you do. um, so I'll tell you what happened when the dog bit me. Okay, so how did I get bit by a dog? This only happens to me, guys, for real. Like, I've heard other stories from my like coworkers at that time of like being bit by dogs. Never bad. This one, he literally got like fat from my leg,
out.
of my leg. So there was a big ass hole in my leg
where there was like those kind of like
I don't know, like tissue and shit.
It was bad.
So how did this happen? I was walking and knocking on a really nice neighborhood, and there was this. It was like, I guess, a 3-story house. It had a staircase so you could go to the door, to the main door, and it had a window right next to the door, big ass window. So I start walking on the stairs and I start hearing a lot of dogs. But they were inside the house. So I was like, okay, like, that's normal. normally see that. Like when you're knocking, there's dogs everywhere. Nobody answers for like 2 minutes. Then I hear a lady coming up, or like at least a person coming up to the door, and I see that it's a lady. So she opens the door, and I was like, oh, it's like happy, because whenever someone answers the door and you're like doing this job, you're just like, oh, like excited, you know, you're like getting prepped and like you're thinking, what am I gonna say, blah blah blah. So it's like, hey, what's up? I'm taking care of your neighbors. I'm here with EcoShield Pest Control. It's been mainly the ants and the spiders, you know, nothing crazy. Like you start giving the pitch and everything, and that's what I did. And then the lady was like, what? Like, it was an old lady, so she's like, what? Like, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. Like, the dogs were like, and I was like, hi, I'm just, like, making a pest control service.
Like bugs! Like, I'm taking care of the bugs!
And then she's like, can't hear you, I can't hear you. And I was like, okay, well, like, the dogs were getting kind of crazy, and I could see them kind of, like, crawling up to the door, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave. I like start leaving, and then she starts screaming, the dogs. So I turn around and I see like the dogs like pushing her away, and they're like trying to get out of the door, like to follow me. So I was super freaked out, and she kept screaming, so I freaked the hell out. I start running, which I'm not supposed to. Like, now that I know, like, don't ever run when a dog is chasing you. Don't ever run, okay? And like, I was already running, and 2 pit bulls were chasing me. Oh my god. So like, it wasn't enough. I thought like me leaving the place was gonna like let them be like happy and stay in their place. No, they kept following me, so I literally jumped from the staircase. Like, I parkour. Like, I was having the craziest like adrenaline rush of my life. And like, I started running, and I like keep running, and basically this neighborhood was in the middle of the woods. So I started running, and I got to a dead end where the cars of like this household were parked. And I tried like jumping on top of a car because they were following me, and like I was actually like winning the race or whatever. I was like, I'm gonna make it. And then I jump like I tried jumping on top of a car, and that's when the pit bull like grabbed my leg and pulled me down. And I was like I started screaming, and like I knew I didn't feel anything, by the way. Like, I didn't feel anything, but that's when I knew, like, fuck. Like, I'm gonna look at my leg, and it's gonna be fucked. I indeed, like, pull up my pant, looked at my leg, and I saw blood and tissue just coming up, and I started crying because I knew, like, my leg wasn't gonna be the same. So I was there crying and screaming for help. Crying, screaming, like, please help me, I'm hurt, like, please come, like, I can't move. And then I stayed quiet, because I was like, okay, nobody's gonna come. And then I stayed quiet.
And she's like, lady, are you okay?
I'm like, no! I'm hurt! Please help! Please, like, call 911, please!
And then she was like, lady, like, what do you want me to do? I don't know.
I was like, just help me, please! I'm like laying down, like I can't move.
And then she's like, I don't know what to do.
I was like, you know what, it's okay, like, don't bother, just bring me a wipey, please, like. And basically, it didn't take long for the neighbors to hear, and the neighbors, which I actually knocked before that house, came to help me. Like, I started listening, like, to, like, hearing people walking through the woods, because every house is, like, within the woods. Like, you have to walk through trees and pine trees, like, to get to another house. And literally, like, they were the ones that picked me up, and they were screaming at her, like, telling her, like, she should get rid of the dog and stuff like that. So I guess they had problems with that dog before. I don't know, but man, that really sucks. At the end, don't worry, like, I went to the neighbor's house. They, like, put alcohol in it. By the way, I didn't feel anything at this point. Like, I wasn't feeling anything. I was just really sad that my leg was all fucked. And I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it was kind of bad. like I had to go to urgent care. Oh, by the way, like the lady, like the owner of the house actually went to the neighbor's house where I was like being taken care of. So basically the old lady that opened the house was her mom and she couldn't really move, so that's why the dogs kind of pushed her away and she couldn't really like reach down to me or like walk too much because she had like a problem and something like the lady, the owner of the house explained. She took me to urgent care, she paid for all my medication and like everything, so I didn't sue guys or anything, which everybody tells me I should have, but honestly, like I was doing that job and I knew what I was getting into. Um, I mean, obviously, she should have had those dogs trained or at least a sign saying be aware of dogs. It was really ugly, but I mean, I'm not like that. I know that she didn't mean it, and I just thought that she did the right thing by taking me to urgent care and everything. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It was crazy. I just hope I don't get a really ugly scar, guys, because, you know, I love my legs.
Okay, guys, so the real question is, how did I manage to get bit by dogs? Like, I don't know.